Hey, beautiful souls. It's Tony back here. We're back with our second episode for our podcast. Last week, we went up to New Jersey for the Women Entrepreneurs Rock Conference up in Long Branch. It was an amazing event. It was awesome to meet such powerful women and hear their stories and, their successes and how they manage their day-to-day business lives. So that was great. Shout out to Jackie for hosting. She was an amazing host, and I really appreciate the opportunity. Today, we have something a little different. We're back with our series. Today, we have a special guest, as we'll always have guests that come in and talk to us about various things. Today's guest is super, super special. It is Candice Camille, who was my savior as I started my journey to recovery. She's got an amazing story, and she's an amazing entrepreneur, and she's a fitness guru. Y'all, she planks every day. Do you guys know what planking is? Okay, for 7 years, she has been planking. So I'd like to introduce Candice.
Oh my goodness, Tony! I'm super excited to be here. It's amazing when you go back and you think of all the souls, as you said, all the lives, all the paths, all the journeys that you have come across, and you and I came across when I was still entrepreneur, but in brick and mortar in a gym, and figuring out, just like anything else, how we are going to get to our next.
Right.
And you came to me and told me what your next was, which was basically to lose weight. And I was like, nah, that ain't your next. That ain't your next, but we're going to start right here. So it was a pleasure to work with you and still call you not only my client, but my friend, to see you have totally bloomed from everything that we talked about.
Right, yeah. Right. And you were so instrumental. And it always, I go back to the moment of understanding that I was broken and that I needed help, right? And so in a lot of cases, we reach out to therapists, but sometimes the waiting list is long, they're not taking new customers, or you don't have chemistry with them. And so I felt that working on my body was probably a good place to start. And so encountering you and going through that process was really helpful. So let's go back to that day. Let's rewind, go back to then. And you had a very special approach that you dealt with me with. Can you talk about that a little bit?
And the approach is just simply to meet you where you are, number one. But my whole thing is that a lot of times as a fitness instructor, that fitness guru, and, the women come to me because my niche is women, I always say that. I'm going to have you feel what you need to feel in your body. I mean, see what you need to see in your body, but you need to feel it in your soul. And that's basically the approach, because you cannot get your body tight until you get your mind right. And your mind was all over the place when you first came in. But just like anything else, we think we need to talk about it, but we need to move about it. Because when you move, you change your hormones. So that's really is my approach, because a lot of times we all got stuff.
Right.
We all got interruptions, and you had so many interruptions going on in your life, in your good life. Because a lot of times we have a good life, but we have all of these interruptions that go in, whether it be a death, a childbirth, a house, no matter what it is an interruption. And, one of my biggest things is that, how do you not let these interruptions turn into destructions?
Oh, yes.
And that's basically my approach to it. But that has to do with your mental muscle. So even though we came in and you fussed every single time that you came in about the movement, it was changing your hormonal structure so you can think clearly to get through. So I work through your body to your mind.
Right.
So that's basically what it's all about, because I believe in order to change how you feel, you got to change your physical position. So every day you showed up, we were changing how you feel through movement. And that's my superpower. That's my
Right.
jam. Fitness is my jam.
Yes, it definitely is. I recall we had a technique where we did affirmations, right? You would say, Tony, what's the word of the day, right? And I would come up with this magnificent multi-syllable.
She didn't understand. She didn't understand us.
So what did you do with that? What did you do with the affirmation words?
So again, when you're talking about building your mind through your body, it's what you speak. Mm-hmm. So the word of the day is not how you want it to feel. So of course we come up with these words not knowing where it come. But I feel if you wanted to feel magnificent, you came up with magnificent. So so how you spell magnificent? So we spelled the word, and I said, so for each letter, we're going to do a series of workout until we finish with magnificent. She started counting the words on her fingers. Like every word, like for the M, we're going to do 50 push-ups.
Yes, I remember that. And so I got to a point where I was like, "Hi, what's the word of the day, Tony?" Great. You were like, sis, no. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to do all these burpees.
But here's the thing, and that's because you were thinking about what you had to do versus about how you want to feel.
Right.
Because again, when you got out of, joy is only 3 letters. I'm joy, so I'm just going to do some burpees and some push-ups and I'm done.
Right.
I'm like, but we have to take joy through the whole session. Mm-hmm. So we're going to figure out how to get through this whole session. But the whole thing around it was like, even for magnificent, why did you choose it?
Right.
Why did you want it? Why do you want to feel magnificent? And what are you feeling now? And this is the strategy we're going to use to get there. So you have to have a strategy to get where you wanted to get. Mm-hmm. And for me, words is a strategy. Like if you get up some kind of way in the morning, a lot of times when we're going through stuff, we just want to pull the covers back over our head.
Right.
I don't want to get up.
Right.
Because I feel a certain way. So my thought process is, how do you want to feel? Mm-hmm. I feel like shit right now in this bed, but how do you want to feel? Right. Oftentimes we'll call out to God, call out to the universe, whoever you choose to call them. I want better. Mm-hmm. But you got to know what you want. You got to know where you want to go, or you're going to settle for what you find. And that's basically what a lot of us do. We settle because we don't know. We know we want to feel better, but we haven't put that period on, that explanation point on what is that feeling. And once you get to that, what you wanted to feel, I mean, mine was simply, because we all go through, my word to this day is still amazing. Amazing. I get up every day, God, amazing.
Yeah.
And that's what I go to. I still work out to amazing from the A to the G every single morning before I do my clients.
Oh wow!
So yeah, so that's mine. When I work for you, that's my job, right? But when I do me, that's my joy.
Okay,
so that's basically where it comes from. But I have to do me before I can do you.
Right.
And that's what most of us women, as we go through yourself, you were going through your job, you were getting married, you were your boys, getting a new house, you lost, well, you didn't just lose your mom, but I thought you just lost your mom just based on your conversation.
Right.
So when we went back, that's when we discovered why you were feeling and going through.
Right.
What you were going through, because you didn't totally grieve that loss.
Yeah, and that's an important part too, because I think as strong women, we have a tendency to compartmentalize, right? When stuff happens, we don't deal with it right away. We put it up on the shelf and keep moving, right? I got stuff to do. I got kids to raise. I got to get this job. I got to get this, and then you don't deal with it. And sometimes we're walking around broken and we don't even know the extent of how broken we are.
And that's because we keep going. We break and what's this glue? Super glue, gorilla glue? We glue shit back together.
Yes.
And it ain't permanent. It ain't permanent.
Right.
Eventually, because when it's broke, it's broke.
Right.
See, because the thing about it, you can't fix broken.
Right.
You know, even when you hear this say we're broken, you broke. Because if this glass dropped right here and it's broke, it's no way we're going to be able to pick them pieces up and put them back together.
Right.
So you got to start from where you are. See, a lot of times we don't leave that shit right there. Sometimes you just got to leave the broke stuff where it is. And we don't.
Right.
And we use that term over and over again. I was broken, but I didn't take that broke stuff and put it back together. I decided I needed to be new.
Oh, right. Yes.
So you need to be new. And that's the approach that I come to. You have to be new.
That's right.
Like, what is your new? So when you think about it, and the reason why we can't get to new, the reason why you didn't get to new, because you refuse to let the broke go.
Yes, that's so true. That is so true. See, y'all, this is why Miss Candice Camille is who she is for me, and now she can be this for you because she is everything, honey.
Oh my God. It is just so amazing when you come to that revelation, but a lot of times we try to do this by ourselves.
Right.
And you cannot. You know, in our community, our culture, you know, it's tabooism to go to the psychologist. Child, I done spent $1.5 billion.
Okay. On therapy.
We all need therapy. I got 5 coaches. I ain't no different.
Right.
And everybody has those interruptions.
Right.
So when you can get somebody help you interrupt your interruption, if that makes sense, so you can see it differently, because I believe that when you change your perception, you change your perspective. So when you have somebody help you change the way you thinking, you can change the way you see things.
Right.
See, because we're seeing from a frame, and you can't see what's going on outside of the frame when you are the frame. I ain't even going to say in the frame, when you are the frame.
Right.
Because when we're going through it, but when you trust somebody enough to really, really get open and to tell the truth.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Took me a minute to get you to tell me the truth.
I'm guarded. I'm so private. I got this, is what I was saying. Yes. I got this.
And in that order, just like that, the same movement. I got this. I don't think you need to talk about this. So I sat there just as patiently and quiet in the lobby of the gym. She was like, when we going to work out? This is our workout today.
Oh, yes, I remember that day too. Oh, my God.
And that was the day I found out about Mom.
Yeah.
And what was going on with Mom. And I remember telling you, girl, you need this. We need to sit right here. You know, I had a strategy sessions that I called Red Couch Chronicle. I'm like, we're going to bring the red couch right here to the gym.
Okay.
And before we started working out, if you remember, each day we had this little mind session on what is it that you needed to do to get to, we always say, to our best next, right? And I always say to your next best. Okay. So it's like when you switch it around, like you got to go next, but how are you going to make it good? Like, how are you going to make it better? What does that look like for you? Because we just jump, especially as entrepreneurs. Oh, Lord, that's a whole nother story.
Oh, yeah, that definitely is.
But we just jump. And what we don't realize is that when you jump, you just land in the same place.
In the same place.
In the same place. But when you leap, you go forward.
All right,
there lies a difference.
Yes.
Right. You know, I hear people say, let's jump. And I'll be like, no. Because when you jump, you're going to land right. If you stand up right now and jump up and down, you're going to land right where you just jumped from. And you got to stay there for a minute. That's why we jump and we jump and we jump and we keep landing and we're going around and around and around and around. You know, it's that same, you know, cliche that God says going to keep giving it to you till you get the lesson.
Right.
But it takes us a long time to get the lesson.
Yes.
And it does take a minute, but you got to be willing to work through it.
Right.
And not only that, as an emotional mastery coach, because I'm certified in emotional mastery and NLP, which is neuro linguistics practitioner. So it's my job to get inside your head and really have you change your language on the inside, because our mind operate on what we say on the outside.
Right.
So when you say it, but your subconscious got something else that's going on. Now, let me rephrase that. When we say it, that's not the truth. The truth is really in our subconscious, and our mind act on our subconscious. So we could be saying red, but inside we're blue.
We're blue.
And that's basically what your actions show. Because we can talk a good game, but your actions really show exactly what you were doing. So as you were working through and going through it, and we hit some peaks and some valleys, and most folks, especially in this day and age, you were no different. I just want to lose this weight
and be done with it.
I want to be done with it, right? Left me one day and came back and told me you went and did some crazy stuff. I'm like, you did what?
Oh gosh, I don't know what that could have been.
Yes, at least she told me the truth, because she came back and her energy was off. She couldn't work out. She couldn't lift. She couldn't even crawl.
Oh, I think I started doing a low carb diet or one of those things, right? That I didn't have no energy.
Yeah, something crazy. I went to the doctor. Well, she told me if I do this, I'll lose this weight. And I'm like, have you lost your mind? Well, I can't do this, coach. I can only do this. I don't know. I'm like, okay, you already did it, so I can't talk you out of it.
Right.
So you didn't tell me you were going to do it, because I would have. But either way, we do those things trying to hurry up.
Yeah, it was rushing.
It was rushing.
I lack patience, right?
Ooh.
Like a lot.
That's all.
You weren't supposed to say it like that. That's why I'm waiting on it still. I'm still working on the patience. I'm getting better.
Getting better. And yes, you have. As I watch your journey, because again, this is 5 years in the making.
Yes.
5 years since I met you, way before COVID.
Yeah.
And, COVID was an interruption.
Right. Big time.
A big interruption, but there was life before COVID. Right. And so when I met you, it was way before COVID and going through it. And all the things that you told me you wanted to do, even when you were going back and forth to Jersey and you were getting a new job and certain things you wanted to do, you had that entrepreneur spirit. So we talked a lot about that and what you wanted to do. But you didn't get here. You didn't get here even as you went through COVID, because you started this process,
right?
With everything that was going on. And it was something that when I saw it, because I follow all of my clients, every client that I ever had in the last 35 years, I still follow.
Oh, that's amazing.
I do. I follow all of my clients. And as I followed you, and this is what I said that you don't know. I said she finally took a seat in her soul.
Oh, a seat in my soul. What does that mean?
That means when you talk about when you really get what you want, when you know what you want, when your whole, and you and I are into the chakras and the alignment, like when you take a seat in your soul, you finally get an alignment for the assignment that God really has for you.
That's what it is. That is what it is. Yes.
So I was like, she took a seat in her soul, because as I see how you have developed, how you have emerged, with everything in it, especially with the stones and everything like that, it has a way of, we use the word balancing so much. I don't like to use that word. So I'll use the word like you had a way of just harmonizing it all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
so
a really good
so you seem like, even though you don't have as much patience,
I'm still working on it.
Working on
I'm
that.
Still
Patience.
working on it.
You know, there's certain things you got to work on, and patience is definitely one of them. But the thing about patience is you don't have to think about it. You got to work through it. You know, and instead of worrying about, patience is the inputs, not the outcome.
Okay.
So patience is the input. I mean, we just got to keep working and
Right.
working and
Just
working, because the outcome, and you got to believe, when you talk about faith to
That's
felicity,
right. Yes.
you got to believe that the outcome is going to give you exactly what you want, as long as you keep
working through it. That's right.
See,
That's
because
right.
you got to work through it, you got to go through it to get to it. So depending on what you want to get to, you have to be willing to work through. And finally, that day that we sat in the gym when we did your whole session of just sitting there having the conversation about why you were where you are, and why you weren't getting to where you wanted to be. And I finally realize now that I can't skip steps. And you were really willing then to start the step process. See, because you wanted to get to step 15 from 2.
I did.
So from 3 to
I
14.
Still do. If it was my way, I'd have been at 100 already. But yes, it is part of the journey. And what I've learned through that process is also to enjoy it. Like, I enjoy what I do now. I enjoy where I am now. I enjoy meeting new people and circling back with, those who help me in my journey. This is really fun now. It's like, I get to wake up every day and go to the store and, just live as an entrepreneur. And this is great.
It's alignment.
It is alignment.
And now it takes some time, and there is no time limit on it. There's no expiration of date on it. But now you understand the assignment.
Yes.
See, a lot of times our plans are our plans, but most times it's not about our plans.
Right.
And you didn't get the assignment. You're trying to create your own and rush through it. But just like anything, when I talk about, even for me as a wellologist, the fitness guru, that's my jam. But overall, when you think about it, in wellness is not something that you do, it's who you become. It's a state of mind. Right. So even in your entrepreneurial journey, it's your state of mind that you talk about, not the work that you do.
Right.
And this is what brings you joy. This is what brings you happiness. Sitting here having this conversation with you makes my ears burn. That's me. Because it brings me happiness when you talk about the things that give you joy, when you can just take a seat in your soul and don't have to worry about it. Right. So again, you get up, you come to work, but it's you come to your joy, but it's work. Even working out with you and telling y'all, 10 more, give me one more, Yes. You can always do one more. But in life, you can always do one more. And that's why you hear a lot of the times where when you're listening to a lot of the podcasts and everything, you'll always hear the analogy of fitness brought in. Because fitness is one of those things that you can get to your next with. All right, Tony, you can do one more birthday, right? You can open up one more store. Right. You can make one more bracelet. Right. It's all about one. Like, the power of one is just one thought, one action, one step. Okay. One more. 1 minute. So at the end.
Okay. You guys, Candice has so many gems. We have her newsletter. I do read the newsletter. And the one that caught my attention was the M's. Oh my. Please talk to me about the M's.
Oh, okay. The M's. Okay. So let's go back and talk about the M&Ms, right? So this is where, as the wellologist, you get to eat the M&Ms. The only ones I'm ever going to approve of, right? They are wellologist approved, right? But the M's are meals, mindset, movement, right? Okay. But that's it. But when you talk about it, and I don't remember it offhand, because when I send out the chews, so again, I send out a chew on that every morning. Gotcha. But basically, when you think about meals, and it's what goes in your mouth. So that's another M. So what's going on with your mouth, right? So even as you're saying, what are you saying? What's coming out? What kind of energy are you getting? What are you ingesting? Right?
Yes.
Right? So even when you're talking about your mindset and you think about your mindset, I don't remember. I of course I will pull it up. Her movement, right? Right. So yeah, Mood. Thank you. So she got the M. Thank you. So again, when you're talking about your mindset, that's your mood, right?
Right.
When you're talking about how do you change your mood through your mind? How do you get up and you feel a different way, which brings you to movement, right? So now you got to move your body, right? You got to move your body no matter what. So it was mood. What's the other one? So
mindset and movement.
No, it's meals, mindset, movement. Was mouth, move, mind, and move, right? That was the other one in terms of the movement, the fitness, and what you have to do with it. So those are the M&Ms that you got to work on every morning. So even when you're talking about going through your body, what are you putting in your mouth?
Right.
What kind of energy are you allowing in your space?
Right. Yes.
Right. What is it that's changing your mood? Right. Think about it for a second. What can change our mood on a daily basis?
Traffic. Right.
Okay, so traffic, people, food,
right? The kids,
right. Just life,
right?
When we life and can change our mood. But here's the deal: you were in control of it. Yeah. How do you think you're in control of your mood, though? So what?
Because you get to make a choice of how you respond to what that external situation
response or react, right? But then how do you do that though? Because when you're getting ready to respond to something, react to something, what's the thing that you do that you don't even know that you're doing?
I'm not sure. What do you think?
You take a deep breath. It's all about the breath, because believe it or not, that is the only thing that we can control.
I see.
Traffic, y'all, you in traffic, people getting on your nerve. What you do?
Take a deep breath.
Take a deep breath. You either gonna follow them or sit still. You're gonna get pissed off,
right? For certain,
yes. And then you're gonna chase them. And I say to my clients, "Why are you upset?"
Yes,
it's nothing you can do about it.
Right?
You in traffic, it's nothing you can do about it. So when you think about your mood and how do you change it, you take a deep breath, right, and relax. But you taking a deep breath with your head, take it with your heart. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, right. I got practice. I got practice.
So, but again, take it from here. So you got to center yourself,
right,
and then just relax with it. So all of a sudden, your heart rate get lower, everything. So you almost got clarity, that you get a clear mind to say, I can make the right decision. And, as I'm working with my clients or anybody else, it's all about just the stop lights, the red lights, the yellow lights. Stop, wait before you proceed. Right. Because with the things that annoy us on a daily day, do I get annoyed? Yes, I do. Some things just piss me the hell off.
Right.
That's just normal
that's
stuff.
Just life.
That's just life, and right. But then it's up to you to decide where you're going to go with it, and that's no matter the interruption, and that's where you catch yourself from letting it be a destructive. So when it's like, how do it becomes destructive, and we don't even realize it's destructive until we watch our behavior patterns.
Oh, yeah.
And that's basically what it's all about. Like, your behavior on a daily basis, has it changed? For me, I get up every day, I pee, I pray, I plank, right?
Okay. Pee, pray, plank. All right.
I don't think it's been a day in 7 years that I haven't got up, pee, prayed, and plank.
Okay.
Because that's my habit, but that's my grounder. Like, what's your grounder?
Right.
When you're getting ready to start your day. So for me, those are the moments those amazing moments in the morning that I have with me first, with God, before I go to do it. Because again, I'm working on my mind, right? So there lies my mood, right? I'm working with God, I'm praying, right? Planking, I'm working on my body. So you really tap into those M&Ms early And when you can tap into those M&Ms early for yourself, your day don't get away from you with people and things that's going on.
Got
So, and that's what I see that you have done, because like I said, as we've met, you come in, it was all about what was going on in your family, your job and everything. And I know I would always say, Tony, what about you?
Right. Right.
So now what about you now? How far have you come to get to that? You are, I look at our lives as big things. So let me ask you this. What's the big things in your life? Like these real big stones that we're talking about here.
Oh, goodness. The big stuff in my life now is really elevating Faith to Felicity to a place where we are product based. So we have beautiful jewelry and all the stuff. We are experience based. You can come in and, make your bracelet and have a party and here and all of that, but also community based, being able to have a support system. So if anybody can benefit from my journey, then, I'd like for them to come along on the ride, if you will. Big for me is peace. So, if I get back to the question, I think I'm answering it right. Am I answering it right? She's looking at me like, I don't know, Tony. This don't seem like. Wait a minute. Okay, well let me see.
I need you to finish.
Oh, okay,
I'm just waiting for the finish.
For the finish. Okay, so yeah, it's peace. I definitely want peace. And the peace of mind to know that I've made a difference in somebody's life. That's really what it is for me. I think you're right. When I was broken, I did not repair myself back to where I was. I grew from that experience. And now I'm in this place where I just have an altruistic spirit that wants to be of service. And I guess I'm walking my purpose. This is my, God said, do this. And I'm stepped out on faith and I'm doing this. And so
now round it up to 3 big things. It's 3 answers. 1, 2, and 3. Give me 3 big things in your life. One word.
One word for 3.
Each one, yeah.
Okay, let's see. Perseverance. Okay, so we're going to continue going through this.
So perseverance is a big thing in your life.
Yes.
Okay, what's another one?
Yes. Vision.
Okay, what's another
one?
Support. Okay.
Support.
All right.
Yep.
So now those come all into the 4th thing in your life.
Okay.
The 3 big things in your life are you, God, family. Those are the big things. So you think about this jar, right? And see the stones here, and beautiful, by the way. Red's my favorite color, so I go straight to this one. And 3 big stones in here, and all these little stones here, that's where perseverance, that's where support and community fall through. But when you have the 3 solid big ones, which is you, God, your family. So once you have that, because even when we started this whole journey, it was about your family, but the thing that was missing was you.
Right.
So it's almost as if, let me age myself a little bit here, right? You know that number you dial 800 or 555-1234.
Okay.
And the lady get on the phone. We had operators that said, you must first dial a 1 before this number can be dialed.
Yeah.
Well, what we don't realize is that you're the one.
You're the one.
And we don't get it. And like you said, I'm not broke. I'm moving. I got it together. Where we gonna make some detours in life,
right?
But at the end of the day, my detours and interruptions still gonna lead me to the same destination, right? So, but that's you. Because once you are in order, you can't follow God's plan with community, with support, and all of that to get through. So once we get these 3 big things in order, we're listening to God halfway. We're listening to God halfway. Most of the time we all hide behind God.
That's a topic for another day, Candice.
So I call that our half listen, right?
Okay.
And we're always in tune to our family. So we got to let the reins go a little bit on them because, again, that's what our limiting beliefs and what we've been taught from women, that we have to give so much of ourselves and none to ourselves.
None to ourselves.
So, and that's basically what it is. So when you get to those big things, I mean, I'm talking about huge stones.
Yes, huge stones.
The huge stones are you, God, your family. Everything else is support, the community, the money, and whatever else you can. Is almost like you got the glass full with the three big things and you got the sand. Everything else goes through that.
Right.
Everything else goes through those big things. So when you can get that, and even though for as far as you've come, we still grow. Because I always say, okay, I'm better. But guess what? Better is available.
Better is yes, honey, yes. Better is available.
Because when you think you at your best, better
is always
available. So you have to keep going. But again, knowing that you're moving in your harmony. And that's what I see here. That with Faith to Felicity and all the things that you're doing, it is just harmony. And you don't mind do it. So when I started the new year, I always come up with a word like, Candice, what's your word for the year? And mine was just ease.
Ease.
Do it with ease. And I watch you now, even for as in a rush as you are.
I'm always rushing.
You're doing it with ease.
Yes, it does feel that.
You know what I mean? And this is something that you're cultivating, that you want it to grow.
Right.
You want people to grow with it.
Right.
You want to change lives, and that's what purpose is all about. But God doesn't give you that purpose until you change your own life. So you change your own life and learned everything there was to know about how to center yourself. I mean, look at this place. It's centered. The energy is amazing.
Yes.
So when you center yourself, that's when you get it. And that's for me.
Yes.
And anybody. Once you get centered, it's almost is the weight comes off.
Yeah.
Because most times it's not about how much you weigh. As much as it's about what's weighing you down.
Okay. What's weighing you down.
So when you let that go, and just to close this whole piece of your life is that I remember in therapy, and I told you to write a letter to your mom.
Yes.
From every place that you felt, if you felt frustrated, if you felt mad, or whatever those feelings. I think we came up with 5 feelings that I wanted you to write from that place. And I remember saying, sometimes you got to tell your mama off.
Yeah,
and you was like, no, I can't. I was like, but that's how you felt.
Yes, it took me 8 years. I didn't write the letter to this Mother's Day when I went to my mother's gravesite for the first time in 8 years. And so I had patience on that because I was stubborn.
Scared to let go.
And scared to
so I have one question. And did you get the headstone?
Girl, yes.
Oh my God.
It's a whole thing, but I will tell you, yes, we got the headstone, and it's finally there in Jersey. I'm so embarrassed about that, but we'll talk about it one day.
Well, wait, did you feel the energy shift?
I did.
That was I remember having that conversation. And you was like, no.
I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing it. I was like, she did. And she was like, no.
Girl, you're making me cry again. We got to wrap this up, Candice.
I came to get that question answered.
Oh my gosh. Yes. It has, oh my gosh. It recently, like as of last week, we were in Jersey. I had to go get a money order because they don't take, other kinds of money to have them open the grave and put the thing on there. And so we're almost there. But
I am super, I know we got to wrap up, but I am so super excited because closure.
Yes.
Closure. Yes. So I'm super, that was the one question I came here. I mean, I knew we was going to have the conversation, but I knew when we left off that you were so stubborn and so adamant because you were saying that meant it was final.
Right.
And you didn't want your mom to be final.
Right.
But you finally let her spirit rest inside of you.
I know.
Yes, and you're working on it. Thank you.
Yes. All right. So it was such a pleasure to be with you again and talk with you about all the junk, right? And get your guidance. You guys, Candice is so amazing. If you get an opportunity to work with her, you'll be in great, great hands. And so, Candice, let's get your contact information so everybody can get to you.
Oh, my goodness, Tony, thank you. This has been amazing because, like I said, I love to see the evolution of the people that have come in contact with my life. And they say for all degrees of evolutionary changes, it starts a revolution that changes everything. And everything, all of your changes that you've gone through, all the evolutions that you've gone through, you've created a revolution that changed everything in your life. So I'm super excited about that, but also super excited that you allowed me as the Wellologist to be a part of it. Again, I'm Candice Camille, the Wellologist, and what I do is I partner with ambitious women who's ready to meet the highest version of themselves. I show them how to transition, from worried to work out to working it out, through meals, mindset, and movement with results you can see in your body, and ultimately take a seat and feel it in your soul and becoming sexy, fit, and well. See, that's my thing. It's like we are now sitting here sexy, fit, and well. So again, that is my superpower. So I'm a certified personal trainer as well as a nutritionist and emotional mastery coach because I believe you can't get your body tight till you get your mind right. And you can do it in 1 minute. So I would love to be in touch with each and every one of you. You can reach me on Instagram at The Wellologist, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter, or the X at The Wellologist. As The Wellologist, and Facebook, Candice Camille, and also contact me through my website, which is sexy, spelled out, fitandwell.com. Thank you for having me, Tony.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right, guys. So thanks for sitting with us and going through this amazing conversation. We'll be back next week with a new guest, with new questions, and let's just continue the journey together. Thanks. Bye.
This was great. My work here is done.
It is. I'm out.